All right. Do you have the email you sent to that dude?
Yeah, I got all the
Good.
emails.
All right. Fucking Chaille went all hardcore Doug Stanhope on a fan. I was fresh off my Singapore crazy flight. Hey, all right. Ggreg Chaille's here. Chad Shank is here. Joby's out smoking. Tom Konopka's going to come in after the break. Kenny's supposed to show back up. We don't know. Kenny's flighty, but I trust him to drive, Tom. We get to a lot of shit. But it starts with, what the fuck were we talking about when we try to start this without Chaille?
Oh, I wasn't here, so...
I don't know. No. Stop.
And since you hit record but didn't turn the mic levels up, no one will ever know.
Oh, the cough's getting worse. I'm so like Mother. I try to fucking take a little bit of time here and again. I thought my crazy flight, if you follow on the Twitter, hang on. Chad Shank is the stand-in host for this podcast. It's the Doug Stanhope podcast with the guest host, like Joan Rivers with Johnny Carson. He had to step out, but his guest is me. So ask me about my dumb crazy flight. I am drunk.
I'm the reluctant guest host because I was just told this right now as well.
All right, I'll help you along.
Well, okay. You said you took this thing to relax? How in the fuck could you possibly relax just going on a horrible trip across the world and doing nothing but dealing with people?
2 words. First class. Or Delta One if they were a sponsor. So
First class international, that's another lot.
Yeah, that's where you get the lay down seats and you push a button and you go zzzz, and you have a TV which you don't look at because you don't care because you're taking so many Xanax and getting all the free cocktails and you go, by the time I land, I'll be diamond medallion. It's fun. It's fun for me. No one gets it. The Points Guy on Twitter, at The Points Guy.
He gets it.
Yeah, he gets it. He's better at it. He probably gets more miles. He's like, Hennigan is the best travel guy. Hennigan knows like all the, if you're SPG for hotel and you match that with this credit card and you get,
if you tell them you're left-handed at the Sky Club, you get extra peanuts.
There's a TV show that I watched on Netflix a while back and I was telling Hennigan we were drunk last time I saw him that he should have done this show instead of the guy that did it.
Like a how-to?
It's kind of, but except for it's a guy who travels all over, except for he just goes to these different countries and falls prey to every well-known
Scam City is the name of it.
That's the one.
It is fucking great, but as I'm watching it, I'm battling myself going, I want to tell Doug about this, but I have to see if this guy's a chump. Because he pays it out too slow.
Yeah,
it's like, this could be a 15-minute infomercial.
It got annoying after a while, but when I pictured Hennigan doing the same show, yes. I was like, that would be entertaining as fuck.
It'd be good, Doug. We should watch it. We'll watch it on one of the breaks on the tour.
We should.
We'll put it on the...
Hey, you know what? With no disrespect to the lovely Morgan Murphy, why can't you Morgan Murphy the hotels? Because she immediately shows up in the hotel. Hey, come to my room. And she has the HDMI and the Netflix
and the converter. The converter.
Yeah.
That's the important part.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all here.
Your old job, your old one job, I'm firing you and I'm going to make you Morgan Murphy. If you could only do 25 solid minutes like she can, then I wouldn't need anyone else. It would be you and me.
Plus, I got to learn to smoke, be able to hold it down. I got the coughing part down.
Well, I give you that. I give you that.
No, I have it. I've got the HDMI cable when Erickson was here, and I'm putting it on my notes to grab the converter for the Mac. Yeah,
All right.
It's a good idea.
Hey, Morgan. I think that's the last podcast that went out was me yelling at Morgan Murphy. I got 2 great Twitter responses about that, and 2, you're a fucking dick. Don't treat a woman like that.
Got one that said
you weren't there. She was being an asshole, and I was.
It was annoying. I love you, Morgan, but you really during a podcast that you were basically co-hosting with Doug on separate
She
beds.
was a guest.
But she, at one point, Doug,
I went to
Doug did that.
fucking Joe Rogan's podcast and then just started flitting off and trying to fix TVs
But she
or
said-
answering phone calls. Yeah.
She set the microphone down away from her so that even if she was going to respond to something, she would have to get up off the bed and go reach for the mic. That was like, now you're saying fuck you, Chaille, because now it's not just Doug. She can't respond. She has to go to respond.
Well, at some point, if I don't listen to my podcast. It's one of the things I don't have time for. But if I remember correctly, and I do remember, at some point you left to go to the other room and get ice or whatever, where it's just me and her, and then she's trying to set up the Major League Baseball package.
Dodger game was on.
Dodger game. I'm like, it's just you and me. You can't fucking leave. And I know that Chaille said, this podcast happened months ago, but Chaille just remembers, I don't think we should put that out. You are really mean to her. And I remember going, A, it's funny. B, we are comedians that are mean to each other. And Morgan and
Morgan can
thrive on being mean to each other. And 3, she was a fucking asshole. You're the guest on a podcast. I don't go on the Joe Rogan Experience and then go trying to fix a fucking refrigerator when he's trying to
talk to you,
interview me.
You had questions, pointed questions to her, and she was turned
Unfucking
away, trying to fiddle with the fucking whatever the package that she had on her Mac to watch the Dodger game.
As I said, I wish Chaille would do what she can do, is set up the TV with the cable and then get the Netflix, and we can watch Icarus, and we can do all these things.
You hear how he says it, though? If I could only learn how to plug in an HDMI cable into my Mac and get access.
You don't. She does.
It's not high on my fucking priority list right before we go onto a fucking tour drunk again.
Is this a part where I should steer it back to Doug's trip?
No,
you're not really steering this ship, Chad.
That's why I'm asking for advice.
Well, you two, that was fascinating. If we could go back to the question,
I still want to hear about the trip.
I see my list there.
There's 2 things.
2 hours I spent sitting there going, I should make a list of what happened on that fucking tour.
That has 3 things on it, and 2 of them I've watched you write down in the last 10 minutes since I've been here.
And they're nothing to do with my crazy flight. I did get like 28,000 MQMs on Delta. And I flew from Tucson on Monday morning at 7:15 through Salt Lake City, Seattle, then the really nice seats, Delta One, to Narita, Japan, quick break, 2 hours, Singapore, bucket list airport, always named best airport in the world. I didn't see the parts that are great. They have like butterfly museums where you just go into a room full of butterflies. I didn't get to the butterflies.
Probably not allowed to smoke in there.
No, but you can in the water lily place. But it's like here, it's like hot monsoon at 3 a.m. It's just hot monsoon. All right. Yeah, there's water lilies, but there's an indoor air conditioned smoking area, but smoking in both Narita and Singapore. And, I met I'm in the Delta Sky Club adjacent. Some Sky Club where Delta people are welcome. Yeah, whatever you call that.
The terminal?
No, they don't have a Delta Sky Club, but they have a Sky Club that welcomes Delta people. You're a fucking white supremacist gang member. Yeah.
I'm not, but I don't understand how that ties in here. Do they also have Sky Clubs?
Never seen those.
I'm just saying, there's motorcycle gangs where you're welcome, but the Mongols are not.
It's a friendly club that you're allowed in.
Right. Whether you're white or not.
It's a Sky Club. Almost everybody's white.
Anyone who's listened to this podcast for any amount of time knows that Chad Shank is not a white supremacist. He's just supreme. Regardless of his color.
And I happen to be white.
Yeah. It's a shame.
Jesus.
I wish he were an Asian supremacist. That would be... All right, now I'm going back. All right. I'm in Singapore. Finally, my bucket list airport.
One question. How long did it take you to get from Tucson to Singapore?
I don't know because you
asked and answered. Thank you very much.
You cross date lines. So I leave Tucson at 7:15 a.m. on a Monday, and I go through Salt Lake, Seattle, Narita, Japan, Singapore immediately after 5-hour layover, back to Narita, back to Seattle, back to Salt Lake, back to Tucson, 4:11 p.m. on a Wednesday. So it's 2.5 days, which with no, you don't leave an airport. You just stay to your next flight. And the one long layover is 5 hours in Singapore. So Singapore, renowned as being the best airport in the world. I saw the water lily garden. The rest of it is so American corporate. I asked Hennigan, I go, you've been to Singapore airport. What language do they speak? Is there Singaporese or because I thought it's probably Chinese. Singapore, I looked it up. I go, what country? What city am I? Singapore is a city and a country at the same time. Like what country is it? What city is it? And Hennigan goes, oh, they speak English, and it's a city state like the Vatican. All right. As long as they speak English, I get to this airport and all the shit that's not a butterfly garden or they have hot tubs and swimming pools and shit. By the time I got there, that's 27 hours of fucking flying. I don't need a hot tub. I just need a cigarette.
I beg to differ. I think your next seat partner would think you should.
I think you need one. You just don't want one.
Different.
Big difference.
Point being, I wasn't experimental. I needed a cigarette and a cocktail. So I find this Sky Club adjacent.
But you were there at midnight, right? You were there.
I landed at 12:10 with a 5:50 a.m. return departure.
And last call, when's the last call at Singapore Airport?
There's no such thing. That's why it's the greatest fucking airport. Yeah. They serve drinks all the fucking time. So I go to the Sky Club and I check my tweets because I hashtag airport pub crawl and I show you me drunk at whatever fucking airport. I get a tweet back 8 minutes ago or whatever. It's some kid's black jeans and black sneakers saying, hey, is that Doug Stanhope I just saw going into the Sky Club?
Oh, shit.
and I see in the picture is where I was just sitting before I found the Sky Club. That's the name of the restaurant. So I go out looking for this sneakers, and the kid stands up, and I'm waving, and he's like, my friend's gonna be so jealous. He's such a big fan of you. And it's 3 in the fucking morning in Singapore. And I go,
wait,
all right.
The city or the country?
The airport. I don't leave the fucking airport.
The sovereign nation of the airport.
I'm like, hey, I gotta go, because I have to leave the Sky Club to go to the smoking area. And I said, hey, if you want to talk to me, come in the smoking area. And he tells me he's a professional poker player. This kid is, I'm trying to find a local, we don't know anyone this young. He's 26, which I guessed within 2 years. He's 27, but I guess 26. But he looks 18. But he told me, I'm a professional poker player. He lives in Vietnam or Cambodia. Either way, he travels between the two to scam fucking rubes like Kenny.
Is this an Asian kid? Because I'm going to be...
No.
All right, I was about to be more impressed that you guessed his age.
The best part, he had a Cambodian Asian friend, but the best part, he looks like Justin Bieber, and I had to fill him in on the Justin Bieber thing. Like how we've already talked about this on a previous podcast. Yes.
I thought now you were going to talk about how you got too drunk to actually do it on your trip, because you did some of it, and then you just were drunk after that, it seemed like.
At this point, I was perfectly drunk sober, where once he told me he was a professional poker player, I said, I wish I had my podcasting equipment. I didn't say, and Chaille to show me how to work it. But I said, I wish I had, because I have...
We could lay it all out on the table and admire it for so long.
Hey, you got 27 extra hours? I'm going to book Chaille a flight to Singapore.
But this tiny kid who is a professional poker player, and I started
from
asking
Canada.
him,
You didn't say that, though.
He's from Canada, but he had been living in Southeast Asia, Cambodia, Vietnam.
A couple years, you said he was.
4 years.
Yeah.
But I started asking him, because I have opinions about professional poker players. Because when poker started, World Series of Poker started, only because they had the fucking camera where everyone could see everyone's cards, and then it became a big thing. There were only like 9 guys that did it. Tom, please fill in at any point on this, because they all thought, oh, we're professionals. But once they put it on TV, they go, oh, we can't admit it's mostly luck. So the next 3 seasons of World Series of Poker are some guy in fucking clown glasses. He won the whole thing. This guy's nobody. And all the professionals are going, oh, they're not professional. How would you play that hand? 'Cause it's fucking luck. So I wanted to talk to that kid, and I did for a minute. You're just ripping off the rubes. That's why you're living in Vietnam and Cambodia. Yeah. And he's making a great living stealing Rube's money. He's the Matt Becker of 26 years old.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's a...
Well, Becker would fucking completely agree.
No,
yeah.
I'm saying that's a fucking juggernaut of he's international. I mean, he's hopping around to Southeast Asia.
And he's a kid.
He's got a hop sing in tow, opening doors for him and stuff.
Doesn't care. Youth. Like, I wanted to eat his heart.
To get younger?
Yeah. I want that fucking, I don't give a shit about anything youth. And after a cigarette in the smoking room, I go, you got a deck of cards? You say, yeah. Hop Sing, Dong, his buddy, his Cambodian buddy. I go, let's play heads up.
Sherpa.
$50. We're just sitting out in the middle of this stupid airport with stacks of cash. Fucking Hop Sing Dong went fucking got small money. Figured out
Just to tip him. You guys are...
And then we're just playing heads up, 1-on-1, me against this fucking Canadian kid. I think his name was Ryan. I love the kid. If you're listening, you're probably not. You're probably doing heads up in fucking Dang Wong somewhere, stealing the fucking money that old man was going to spend on fucking a Thai kid of discriminate gender.
He's all fucking people out of their micro loans.
That's funny, Chad.
Thank you. I thought so.
I have no idea what it meant, but I laughed along.
I know you didn't. That's what I had to say. I get it. That's fucking hilarious. I love that Chad, Doug's talking to this guy, and this guy's, yeah. And Doug's like, well, yeah, you're just ripping off the rubes. And this guy's like, Hop Sing is like, ripping off, going through Doug's, all his like on luggage, his passport and everything.
Oh my God. I lost a lot of stuff on that. But not my cell phone or my passport. You know what? Let me tell you, listener, when you hit that button to bring your the thing that holds your legs up when you're in first class on a luxury Delta One.
You guys know.
You're laying back, and they bring you your food at your leisure. But at some point, they will say, hey, you have to bring your seat back up. Well, in Delta One, what happens? You have to hit all these buttons to make your whole bed come back up. But what it does, when the leg part comes down, it sweeps all the shit you were drunk and dropped on the floor underneath the seat. So you lose all sorts of shit. I didn't lose my passport or my cell phone, and that's all I cared about. But I lost some eye masks. I had to go through customs in Singapore. Not customs, but it was just like hey, we have to do this kind of pat down. But
to get into the bar?
Well, you know how I steal when I get those fucking great custom pillows for the trailers here and the blankets. And I had a bag full of snacks, and I went through the one time I had to go through customs, and I put all that shit on the belt, and all I remembered was to grab my backpack and left all the rest of my snacks and my stolen pillows and blankets. I didn't remember it till the next stop when I was back in Narita, Japan. I'm like, fuck, I stole all that shit.
The fucking whole airport is shut down because they don't know who it belongs to. It's just left on a belt.
They don't care.
There's a robot dissecting these pillows.
They don't give a fuck. Like Narita, I get a beer and I go, all right, I'll be back. I'm going to go to the smoking lounge. And they're like, well, you can take your beer. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was from a free country where you can't bring your beer 80 feet away to a smoking lounge that they're going to fucking...
They understand smoking and drinking.
Point being, this country stinks.
I feel responsible as the temporary host for that digression.
The wheels are off the cart.
I don't know
host.
what happened.
No, the point...
Somebody should have given me an outline to follow or something. I don't know how to do this.
What? God damn it.
Who won?
I had to listen to this.
Who won during
fucking
poker
thing.
is what I was wanting to get back to.
I fucking, at some point, we played this game too long, and we're both being polite. All in, I fold. I fold if you're all in. I'll just bet $1. All right.
Boring.
Yeah, at some point, I have to catch my flight, and so do they. I go, all right, let's just do one hand, blind, all in. And Dong says, oh, you want to do a flip? I go, oh, there's the vernacular?
Oh, he speaks
now
English?
Now I know how to do a flip. Hey, you want to do a flip, Kenny? He doesn't know. I know, because I learned it from a 26-year-old Justin Bieber lookalike professional poker player, and I beat him with an 8 over a 6.
Oh, wow.
So I won $50. So now I'm a more professional poker player than professional poker.
Got it.
Ultra pro.
Does this mean I should?
Wait a minute.
I wanna go
was that
back
just
to-
high-low? Were you guys playing?
No, we were playing a
bluffed.
hold'em, but at one point
bluffed.
I said,
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
just one, because we're just going to go, oh, now 40, because the Dong had to do all the math, because we didn't have chips. So Dong, it's like, all right, you're 7 up, you're 3 down.
Really?
Yeah, it was stupid. I was fucking drunk. I'd been flying 27
No, they
hours.
value math skills in the Asian countries. That's
All right, now not you. Come on, my
I'm saying
my
they do.
podcast is
Dong
going
was
off the
Southeast
fucking
Asia.
rails
well.
with
You need to take
racism
you need to
here.
take control here.
Dong was from the killing fields. He wasn't a fucking mathematician. They kill those people first. Ask James Inman.
Don't.
Oh my God! Don't ask James Inman.
James is showing up on the tour, but I don't want to tip any of that.
I know.
Okay.
Well,
No,
we're
I-
not
I
tipping.
thought you might go into it. I marked it, but yeah, I don't know if you remembered.
Oh, this other.
We can take a break.
Oh my God!
We're far
Hang
enough
on,
away
hang
from
on.
what you said earlier.
I'm calling. I'm calling right now.
No, let's take a break.
No, I'm calling right now. Then we'll do fucking
Who are you calling?
commercials. I'm gonna see if he fucking answers the phone.
Who?
Because Chad Shank shows up. He needs some adrenaline, and Chaille was late with Adderall if he has any left. So instead of Adderall, we played Killing Strangers by Marilyn Manson.
I wanted some violent music, but I didn't know
And
any. So she
it worked.
said, yeah,
We
it's
were
good.
fucking into it. So I called Manson. He didn't answer his phone.
That's Doug's walk-on
It's in Singapore, probably.
playing
He
poker.
might be. But I have a new friend. If he doesn't answer the phone, I'm just going to play his outgoing message.
Yeah, I'll be here, man.
Are you a... Wait, hang on. Oh, fuck. All
He
right.
said hello.
That was confusing.
Yeah.
Like several people.
There were
answered
a
the
few
phone.
people. I can hear better because I have the headphones on, but there were like at least 2 or maybe 3 people in the background.
Are you calling a whole band
One at a time.
No.
all at once?
Start with the keyboardist. He always answers. The drummer's probably got another gig.
Hello, you have reached 504 11,111. Please send to a fax by pressing star. Now, to send the fax, please dial 111,111 followed by the pound key.
Thank you for not answering. That's what I wanted your outgoing greeting. We'll do the podcast live. We'll do it live. All right. Hey, special announcement. I have joined the band Ween.
That's a good cliffhanger. Take a break.
I'm Douglas Gene Stanhope. Gene Ween. I'm the new Gene. All right. Let's take a fucking break. Jesus. We got to get to Tom Konopka and Kenny. I can't wait for Kenny. Is he really? No, he's not. Back after this. Are you having legal trouble and don't know where to turn?
Trying to find an attorney you can trust?
Do you think you've been cheated out of contingent compensation of back-end proceeds from third parties in the territory defined as North America and Mexico, including but not limited to all ancillary and subsidiary rights, whether audio only, audio, video, or otherwise?
Don't let a legal entity based in a midshore jurisdiction for legal or other purposes kick sand in your face.
Not me.
Call Eric Greenspan at the law offices of My Man Greenspan, Feynman, Fox, Rosenberg, and Light.
Eric Greenspan, when physical intimidation isn't enough.
Call Eric Greenspan, 310-820-7717.
And keep calling.
Mention Kenny for mayor and get 10% discount.
This advertisement has been approved. Wow, that's an old order, because or maybe I don't know. I order some things when I'm drunk. Are we ready?
You order everything when you're drunk.
No, I order some stuff when I'm sober. That is so not true. It's the stuff I don't remember.
It's not true that you're sober? I missed it.
All right, well, you know what? If I did order that dog food drunk, it's because I know we're gone on the road for a month in Champaign, Illinois, DeKalb, Milwaukee, Minnesota, somewhere else, somewhere north, somewhere west, somewhere east, somewhere south, and then Denver at the end. And Milwaukee. Don't forget Milwaukee. If you don't fucking sell out Milwaukee, I will never come back. All right, here's some emails from fans. I say that with an asterisk. This is fan mail that is common to me. So let me talk to Crystal Broussard. I assume she's a New Orleans swamp person. Broussard. Doug, I first have to say thank you for giving my best friend the vehicle to make me burst out laughing at his funeral. I went through a rough stretch where I didn't really laugh anymore. Your comedy helped me with that a lot. I also thought it would help with my best friend Andrew, who was another humanoid Eeyore like myself. He, of course, ate it up. We quickly sat down over Skype and started reviewing your work. He devoured everything. He listened to all of your albums on Spotify. He watched your comedy specials. He went through the podcast. He watched your episode of Louie. Your episode of Louie had a scene that Andrew and I absolutely loved. When Louie says, Eddie, you can't kill yourself. Your delivery of, yes, I can. I got a note from my doctor. Left us in stitches. We thought it was the greatest thing ever. So, Andrew was diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder, and after a few years of random but increasingly common auditory and visual hallucinations, he didn't tell anyone that he was diagnosed. Instead, he told his uncle he would move in with him and told his friend Seth the same thing. Then he slowly moved all of his large possessions to either house. He wrapped up the rest of his possessions in linen and wrote our names on whatever he wanted us to have. He roped off his bedroom and put a sign on the outside that said, "Don't come in, just call the police." Then he ate a bullet. In the possessions he left me, he left the paperwork for his official schizoaffective disorder, and on the front he wrote in large print, caps lock, Sharpie, "Crystal, I got a note from my doctor." The look his mother gave me when I burst out laughing sometimes haunts me and sometimes makes me crack up all over again. It's perfect gallows humor and a very good way to remember my friend. Thanks, Crystal. So it took me days, I forwarded that to Louie, who I never talked to, but I forwarded him that. I go, these emails are not uncommon for me.
Yeah.
But since you wrote the line, I thought I'd share it with you. And he just wrote back, what the fuck? Yeah, that's that's my target audience.
You're a good friend, Crystal.
Crystal, I love you and thank you for that. And all the people that I give you shit when you go, why is Rochester already sold out? Can you get me in? Maybe one seat becomes available here and again, but probably not. But yeah, if someone kills themselves, you can get in. Otherwise, it's sold out.
She's going to be at the Denver show. She already bought tickets.
Do we have another suicide letter? Because if we can read one more, Stanhope will definitely cry.
No.
I wasn't crying.
I'm not cutting out that pause.
Totally on the edge.
pause.
Did you see how I made a cry sound like a laugh?
It was totally on the edge for that entire time. One more letter. One more.
Ggreg Chaille, who is not me in the morning. Again, if you get shit from me, look at the timestamp of the email, because I wake up and I have to hate someone, and it's your first email. I'll find a reason to fucking hate you. I go, fuck you. But Chaille never is the fuck you guy, but listen to this.
I'm trying to think where to, do you want to read the first part or?
Yeah.
So what happened to preface these emails?
I know, but I'm really.
Yeah, just you preface the point of this idiot's fucking email. Hang on, let me start, because the ones that I get, which you have not addressed, there's some bullshit with the website, and I don't know whose fault it is.
Oh, hold on.
Where sometimes I'm going to order a sticker for 10 cents, but it says it's $85 to ship it. And then I just forward it to you, and then you go, yeah, something's fucked up with the website.
You're actually lying right there, Doug. Because
I
they say
fudged the numbers.
They say I'm buying one of the Mishka Shubali t-shirts. I was hoping you could supply me with the details about the sizes. I'd like the pit-to-pit size, small and medium tees, please. And your answer wasn't shipping.
Wait. We'll get to this, because this guy.
Wait, I remember that one.
This guy is one I snapped on. But
I remember that one from the last podcast.
Oh, we already talked
That's
about it?
That's what I'm telling you guys. I remember that one.
Pit to pit. Yeah, I'm going to go down to the fucking store and measure it with a fucking tape measure. Well, hey, send me a picture of you with a tape measure against your back, and then I'll measure the T-shirts down at the shop that I don't run.
Can you hold up a local paper so I know this is a recent picture?
Hang on. There is a problem with sometimes there's a shipping issue.
Okay, if you order stickers and it's $12 shipping, yes, there's a problem because it's so low. It's a stamp, and I can't do that through our e-commerce. Okay, sorry, but that's just the way it is. And anyone who gets it, I give them the money back.
It's
they order it.
International fucks that don't understand. What, really?
Well,
$25 for a t-shirt, but $24 for shipping? Fuck you, I won't wear it. We don't run the post office. International shipping costs that much. We're not gouging you on fucking shipping. We don't. I've emailed that in hate morning mail going, I don't want you to wear my fucking t-shirt anyway. You're a fucking douche. You don't understand that it's not us. I snap on people.
It was meant for somebody different than you.
So this is... there will be some clarity at the end of this. I was planning on buying. This is from someone.
Is this the one?
Yes. Subject line: ignore the $30. $24. Come on. I was planning on buying the absolute price gouge that is $30 for your vinyl, but $24 shipping. Doug, what are you shipping this in? You have to be pocketing 95% of that. If you aren't, someone is. $24. Am I paying every person at the post office in Bisbee $24 is utterly ridiculous. I will not be purchasing this vinyl. It doesn't really affect you in any way, and you shouldn't care. But really, $24 for shipping? This must be a very, 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 very expensive box.
I want to kick this guy's ass.
Oh, I know. That's what I wake up thinking. You know what? You're fucking yelling at me about. Talk to the post office. We're
Well,
motherfuckers. Oh, that's what I said to one of these fucking assholes.
Find another T-shirt to buy and shut the fuck up.
I said, listen, we don't make money off the shipping.
we
Jesus,
make
Meatwig.
we make a small amount.
Meatwig's even mad.
We make a small amount to cover the packaging.
Well, what I said to them is shipping internationally. It's not just how much money it costs. It's the fact that you have to fill out paperwork. Like when you're crossing a border, that's the kind of paperwork. You have to fill out all these forms and stick them on. Don't buy international. How about that? Don't buy internationally. Chaille doesn't need the money. It's a bunch of fucking paperwork. He has one job, and this is taking away from it. Don't buy internationally. Defraud us. Bootleg t-shirts. Make your own fucking Doug Stanhope t-shirts and hand them off for free on the tube, you fucking assholes, because it's too much fucking work that takes away from what Chaille should be doing that would make us fucking big names. We would be huge in Hollywood if Chaille wasn't figuring out how to fucking ship to Belgium. Fuck you, Belgium. I'm never coming. Oh, what were you saying?
I was going to say the one thing I was doing that morning instead of my one job was actually replying ad nauseum to this guy.
All right.
I was in a mood.
Give Chaille a shot, because I want him
I'm fine.
sell
I got my
this
drink.
with the same venom that I read it.
Oh, yeah. I'm already worked up after the first
So, Fred,
paragraph.
my reply starts, now you can't really think Doug is licking envelopes and taping boxes, so I will introduce myself. I am Chaille, and I run the store. A few things go into calculating of shipping costs, and although it is tempting to assume Doug is constantly cranking up the profit gauge, I assure you, this is a smaller, boring operation. First, there is weight and dimensions of a parcel. Vinyl shipped properly is in a custom box and double wrapped in bubble wrap. This comes out to just over 15 ounces. All weights are rounded up, so this is rounded to 16 ounces. Almost a pound. U.S. postal rates increase by weight, and even more so after 13 ounces. Now that is just domestic. I usually just send it priority as it is usually cheaper and quicker. As you are no doubt aware, we do ship internationally. I'm making an educated guess here, as one of your complaints is the $24 shipping rate, which is the 15-ounce international rate.
Fuck you, Belgium!
After 8 ounces, the rate of shipping international goes from 12 right up to 24. That's the cost. That's not profit. That's no gold foil box. That's no fluffy down pillows to gently caress your vinyl while it makes its way across North America and maybe the Atlantic Ocean. That's the cost 2 nations postal services charge to move something from me to you.
Fuck you, Belgium!
So look it up yourself, as the postal rates are available to all. Really. So pay for delivery to your door, move closer, or don't buy it. I don't give a shit.
Ggreg Chaille!
Yes!
While we are discussing commerce, your other complaint,
He's not done!
$30 for vinyl, is interesting. What price would you be willing to pay for a 1 in 500 copy of Doug's latest material? I printed these myself from the label who, to my knowledge, has no plans of producing for sale anywhere or at any price. Why not buy vinyl from another comic, get it shipped, and send me a copy of the receipt so I can figure out how to really run my business? Thanks for taking the time to waste mine bitching about something you didn't take 2 seconds to check out on your own. Ggreg Chaille. You want to hear?
Everyone considered him
He
the coward of the
responded?
county. Chad,
Here's his.
Chad, you could have heard a pin drop when Chaille stopped and locked the door.
Here's his reply. Yeah, it turns out I'm just an idiot. I didn't fill out the form all the way. Ignore me forever. It comes up with the most expensive shipping, and then you drop down and choose your shipping. He lives in Nevada. It just defaults to $24.
God.
Fucking Tom Konopka and Kenny could have dropped it off for nothing, but you're a dick. You could have met the fucking stars of the podcast, but you're an asshole.
Wait,
You're an asshole. You're an asshole. That's right. You're an asshole. You're
Wait,
an
this guy's
asshole.
close
Hey,
enough I could beat the shit out of him?
He did just figure out he's a fucking idiot.
He went back and looked.
As we all
He also told me in the first part, I'm not buying this, which I should have just deleted the email. You're not a customer at this point. I'm not solving an issue by replying to you.
I'm glad I've never been on the receiving end of that Chaille. I would not know how to respond. That was a precise striking
It was
Chaille.
that was on a phone too.
All right, quickly, you gave me this, but people always email me. There should be a email link for Chaille because I have to forward shit and I rarely remember. But when it's about, oh, hey, it's not on Spotify or Google Tools or wherever the podcast is supposed to be on, but it's not. And who does YouTube? And I don't fucking know. Occasionally I remember to email Chaille. Now I'm afraid because I'll get one of those viscerous responses.
I've got 3 different ones I've crafted a long time ago for you. It just depends. I have an email for podcasts, but I don't put it out there because everything gets to me eventually. But the Stanhope store stuff, their orders come with my email on
talking
it.
about the podcast.
Oh.
It's not on this. It's not on that. And I don't.
It's stanhopepodcast@gmail.com.
You think we listen to this?
No, I know you don't.
We're
That's-
embarrassed
Okay, now-
we do it.
I got a question related because I was updating my Twitter profile the other day. I wanted to put the podcast link, and I put the one Audio Boom.
Yes.
Stanhope.
Oh, that's-
podcast.
Yeah.
That's the link to the podcast.
Our podcast partner is Audio Boom. So when you click on that link to Audio Boom, we get credit for that. They see the numbers that we do. When Google Play, Stitcher, all these things, those are different ways, third parties that we really don't get credit from our advertisers for.
Yeah, so go through Audio Boom so we get credit, you fucking assholes with your dumb questions.
And boo-hoo, you can't download it, so then go find it somewhere else. Don't complain, because I can't get
whack.
the fucking guys to change it.
You can't get it in fucking Belgium. Shove it up your ass. Just fucking recreate it with your friends. Put on silly hats and suits like we wear, and then pretend that you're us, and then go, I'm Shank, I have a deep voice. And then your friend can go, I'm Stanhope, I yell a lot. And no
We
one
get
can
it.
do.
Yeah. If you don't have something to fucking hate, you don't have anything at all to do. So hate that.
I would love nothing more than to see a 6th grade class in Belgium doing a school play that is based on any one of our podcasts in your native language.
Yeah.
And I will pay $30 in shipping for that.
Like the guy who did the Japanese kids drawings. The American teacher in Japan.
Oh, yeah.
Who had all his kids draw those pictures of you and Bingo.
That would be fantastic. But now we have to cut to a commercial. Audio Shank, well, give me the right plug. At Audio
I don't
Shank.
have anything to plug. My HD Fatty is my Twitter.
At HD Fatty, we should always
Because
promote the
I have a website.
at Real Tom Konopka, at HD Fatty for Chad Shank, at Ggreg Chaille, Chaille, and at Doug Stanhope. We use Twitter. We don't use Facebook unless it's necessary. But you have audioshank.com?
I have audioshank.com, but it redirects to my Twitter account.
Great.
Once I have something to fucking sell, I will try to sell it.
You have something to sell.
I don't have anything to sell yet.
Hang on, let's take a quick break.
Hey, Steelstone Industries, people. That's the hot thing right now, trending on Twitter. Steelstone Industries in Holton, Maine. If you need asphalt work done and you're a municipality, because they don't really do private work, they mostly do cities. So if you need asphalt done and you're a city, go to 154 Steelstone Road in Holton, Maine. It's just past where the old dump used to be. And talk to Blake McQuaid. Blake McQuaid of Steelstone Industries at 207. Write it down. Tattoo it on your arm like a Holocaust survivor. 207-532-2422. We put the 22 in 2422. That's how you remember it. It's one of those things that makes you remember. Mnemonic device. Thanks. And here's this message from Blake McQuaid.
Hi, I'm Blake McQuaid. And if you need asphalt, you better be a fucking city.
We don't do personal stuff. All right. And now back to the podcast.
Hello, my name's Eddie and I'm 4 years old. And you're listening to the motherfucking Doug Stanhope Show.
Hey, this is the Doug Stanhope podcast with our guest host, Chad Shank, and his guest.
We have with us in the FunHouse today. What the fuck?
Doug Stanhope is.
Sorry. I was trying to be awkward, and then I actually got awkward. It was weird. We have Tom Konopka and CRKenny, and I'm not sure what we're talking about on this one. Usually, I kind of have an inkling of what we're going to talk about somewhat, but I don't know at all what this story is.
There's a beginning to this where Tom Konopka's had shit in storage, like probably most of our listeners and Kenny have had in storage for fucking ever, where they're just paying. Problem is, Tom, you got to get back up there to Vegas to get it.
Yeah.
So Kenny is going to drive you up to Vegas to get what you say is like 2 suitcases full of shit that you need, but it's only 2 suitcases full of shit.
Yeah.
But Kenny's going to drive you, which, if any of you guys remember, we had to buy a new TV one year for Super Bowl, and I had to drive 45 minutes to Sierra Vista and back with Kenny. And before I was 13 minutes in, I wanted to kill myself. Because Kenny is one of those people that has to fill every silent moment with just nonsense. And then I would play golf in Turquoise Valley. I play golf, and the guy, and then I'm the fucking guy. But I have to chase the ball, but then they're yelling at me. Just shut the fuck up. It's morning. Just shut the fuck up. It's morning.
I do that too, Kenny. Don't feel bad.
I'm learning.
No, you don't. Make him feel bad.
I do.
I'm letting Tom Konopka know what 9.5 hours up, then the time you spend there, and then 9.5 hours back will be like.
This is my question. When you were in the car by yourself, do you do all of that self-talk?
No.
You said no?
No.
Well, you will be by yourself for 9.5 hours. I will have the earbuds in. We are buddies, but I will simply zone out, and he'll play his music. And
for the record,
there won't be any
bloodshed. The first half of this podcast, Tom Konopka was completely ignoring everything we said, and he had earbuds in 3 seats down. So, yeah.
I like to enjoy it as it comes out.
Well,
Yeah.
it all sounds good. I picture it a battle of conversations. They're like where neither one of them is listening to the other one.
No.
They're just telling stories at the exact same time.
I'm going to ask to borrow his earbuds.
You guys can each have one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it should be fun. He said you've never driven as far. Well, how far have you driven out of Bisbee? You said Phoenix?
Tucson
Tucson?
Phoenix, but not all the way to Phoenix.
So it's a...
Not all the way to Phoenix, which is 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
You're about to do 9.5 hours.
Somebody
which
stuffed him
for
in the
Kenny,
trunk before he got to Phoenix.
Guys, I'll stop talking.
Give Kenny a break. He's at a young age, at 40. Oh, 39, I'm sorry.
About to be 40.
Yeah, that's when you become a man. And so, yeah, 3.5 hours is a long drive that you couldn't make. You're going to do 9.5 hours driving each way, which is 18 and 2.5 hours.
Probably 20 hours.
It's good math.
18 and 2 halves.
Yeah.
I fucking worked that out.
Yeah.
Anyway, the two of you both, I'm not going to take Tom off the hook. Tom is a chatterbox when he gets the chance. So, yeah, it'll be a duel on duel. Who wants to just keep talking? But no, Tom, he's got the earbuds. He knows how to zen
problem.
out.
I can turn it off. I
But
think
Kenny,
it's got a big right.
But Kenny's a gambler.
Oh, well. And we're headed to Vegas.
You're just trying to get your shit back. Kenny has dreams, visions. When I first moved to Vegas, when I was a young man at 19, not 39, but I was the same kind of ridiculous idiot kid. And I had pictures of slot machines and free shrimp cocktails that Kenny has. And you're going to, Tom will lead you into that belief that you could bring a nickel and come back a millionaire.
With a Corvette.
According to Tom, we're staying at a Motel 6 on the edge of Fremont Street.
No, it's going to be on Boulder Highway, and it's going to be in close proximity to Fremont Street, but you're not going to be on the Strip.
No,
so we're not
I'm
walking
putting you in a
on all that
fucking
bullshit.
casino.
Yeah,
I'm putting you in a casino. You know a Motel 6,
Yeah.
but I am going to overstep your fucking boundaries.
That's actually the perfect. That's close to everything. Because that's where we're going to end up, and we're going to try to hook up with.
Oh, the plaza.
Sal.
Fuck yeah, put them in the plaza.
Oh, yeah.
The
that
West
place
one.
is great.
Yeah, we remember that pool, huh, Chad?
That place is fun.
Friday, closed, 6:00, magnetically. What the fuck? What was that?
With a suite with access to the pool.
Yeah.
But closed at 6.
I can
6
see the
p.m.?
setup. And you're going to have Inman in the other room, and we're going to reenact the whole fucking,
Oh, no.
the original reunion, yeah. Well, I was with you when you were 19, and I'm with him now. He's 39. It's the same mental state.
You will have so
I'm
much
a good-
fun.
A good chaperone for both.
You will have so much fun with
We are gonna
Kenny,
have fun.
honestly, Tom, because I've done bits about it where I talk about why people have kids because they gave up on their own life and they want to watch the same life through new eyes. I remember.
This is,
Yes. You're going to see that with Kenny. You are going to have so much fun watching Kenny's eyes blow up when you drive into the lights and all the bullshit. And Kenny, I'll stake him a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know what his game is. What is your game,
I
Kenny?
would probably play poker. And yeah.
Stay on the nickel slots. Let's keep us smart and within reason.
Here we
With
go
somebody
already.
else's money. Yeah.
Who's gonna spot him the nickel?
That's actually it. Doug, that's interesting. Tom, you worked in Vegas and Atlantic City.
Yes.
That's well known. What do you suggest, Kenny? What should Kenny's play be when he hits the gaming floor at the plaza?
Get the fuck out of Vegas. Go straight
That's
to the
what I
chicken
thought he was
ranch
going to
and,
say. Sit in the car and don't
and get
get
your
out.
pipes blown.
Hey, you talked
It's a
over
suggestion.
Tom, which
No.
is
Sorry.
it's due.
Precursor.
But pump.
If you were going to give him a one day 24-hour pass where he has to do like one show, one buffet, one gambling jag, and then I can't say a hooker because it's implied. Titty bar.
It's inevitable.
All right, titty bar.
Okay.
Because if his fucking wife listens to this podcast and gives him shit about a titty bar, believe me, he doesn't have money to tip because it's after the gambling jag.
Yeah.
So, hotel, show, buffet, gambling,
That's so fucking
it's a
tough.
5-step.
That's so fucking tough.
Let's take a break.
I'll drive you.
Yeah.
Let's take a break. Let's take a
Are we bidding on this drive?
I already got the job. You can come along. I mean, don't be.
That's a big.
Kenny's mad. He thinks we're going to try to call Logan.
They're kidding. Sort of.
I'll absolutely. If you want to go on this tour, Chad Shank, you're in.
What was the game that you played whenever I went with you guys to the plaza?
Oh,
And
yeah,
you
that'd be
gave
fun,
me
too.
tokens, and then we played, and I
Roulette?
won. Roulette. Yeah,
All right.
that was.
Hang on, we're gonna take a break.
Okay,
Hang on,
okay.
we're gonna take a break right now because I'm kind of out of sorts. But I'm gonna write down these 5 things.
Yeah, and I'll respond.
Hotel,
Yeah.
buffet, show,
Casino.
Titty bar.
Lap dance.
titty bars last. That's when Kenny's broke and sad.
Or rich and happy.
Which
We'll be right back after these messages. Sponsor number 1, do a commercial. What does that mean?
Let me take this one, Doug.
There you go.
Wrote it in English.
Number 1. No, that's right. Exactly. We are.
Put your tequila because it is actually sippable, which is unknown in tequila.
Yeah.
I fucking hate tequila.
Okay, well, let me
And
do the
I
lead in there.
drank yours.
If you hate
I
it, let me.
sipped yours.
take it.
and it was
Let's get a little.
Fuck that fucking tequila, baby.
It's the Bird Cloud's endorsement right there. I don't need your endorsement, you vodka, no taste drinking, whatever. But it is. Thank you very much for giving me a chance to plug my tequila. It says number 1 tequila. You can go to taterstequila.com. We'll send it to your house. You have to give us money, and then it'll prove to be the best drink of liquor you've ever had in your life of any kind. And I've never lied to you ever.
Ron, tater salad white. Let me try to enunciate what you just said. Go to what? .com.
Taterstequila.com.
Taters tequila, like potatoes, but in a redneck. Taterstequila.com.
Fuck you, it.
And if you Google that and you misspell it, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, or
They'll
you
do
can
it
just
for
go
you.
back and ask Professor Stanhope. And
Taterstequila.com. This tequila, if I'm not wrong, I will tell you, this tequila has never lost a competition for a tequila that cost under $300, and it's only $79. Am I right?
pretty fucking close right there, buddy. Yeah.
Well, that's the way it was 8 months ago when I listened to the podcast you did today. That's a fucking tasty tequila.
Yeah, you'll love it if you
What
give it a
else
try.
do you remember?
I don't.
No, you just said that a little bit backwards. The podcast was 8 months ago. We listened to it today. The tequila's
doesn't
never
matter.
been in a
I gotta go
contest.
pee.
The tequila's never been in a contest
That it didn't get first
didn't
place.
win, and it also won. It also got into the top 5 of all tequilas. Is that right? So is it top
Yeah, it
5?
was voted one of the top 5
And it was the
tequilas in the
only
world,
one-
and it was the only one under $300.
Under $300.
But you're right; it's about $80. That's the extra and Yeho. And the other two are also
Well,
outstanding.
The other
the
two
blo-
are shitty.
The Blanco, which is delicious, is $39.99, and the Reposado is $49.95.
and they
and
both won
that's
multiple
off-
gold winners.
And
they're delicious.
It's the shitty ones he's pouring into Bird Cloud's head. Just saying.
You can also go to oldtowntequila.com. That's where
they sell it
Yes,
on the
exactly.
online.
And that's the way to go. And we're gonna get a bunch of it sent out to the FunHouse.
And by
because
the way,
that's gonna be our
Bird
tequila.
Cloud is begging for this tequila. I'm not pouring it down their throat. They're saying, how about some more of that goddamn... Look at them right there.
100%. Did backflips in your house with it.
All right, we are back. We've all written down our answers. Kenny is the hitchhiker at the beginning of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. The scared hitchhiker. Except in this case, he's driving. Tom Konopka is going to show him Vegas. Kenny is a gambling addict to the point of where you go, hey, fuckface, the scratch tickets, this is not an Indian casino. Move out of the fucking way. I'm trying to get smokes.
But he's a pretty lucky gambler, I would say.
Yes.
Unless you're playing poker against him, and then he's terribly unlucky.
Thanks for telling everybody.
Yeah. He goes on tilt in life. So we, the 5 subjects, Tom.
Yes.
Well, I wrote those down. First, the hotel we already established. The Plaza Hotel is our favorite.
Yeah.
So that's the hotel.
Downtown. It's on Fremont
Downtown.
Street.
Old school Vegas.
Yes.
Next is what buffet? Ultimately, you're the best buffet.
The bus buffet, you're either at the Encore or you're at the Ween up on the Strip. Those are the best, but that's not where you have variety. We're downtown.
What about Caesars? I've always known Caesars was one of the most high end.
Always. Realistically, in Vegas, there is endless stuff. You high end, low end. Most of the buffets are all good. I mean, now the question is, do you want to spend $50 on a buffet? When Doug and I were in Vegas, the Circus buffet was like $3.99. But I'm saying, and you had 99
I
cent
am not
free
going to spend a lot of money on Kenny's buffet.
This is my point. So what I would do is I wouldn't, I would stay down. We're at the Plaza Hotel. There's great food in the Plaza, but I would either go to the Golden Nugget downtown, which has a great fucking buffet, or the Main Street Station, which is next to the Plaza Hotel.
That's
great food.
That's the
Main
one
Street
I was
is the number one for me.
I don't have any Vegas
Have you been there?
experience other than staying at the Plaza twice with you guys. And Jenny and I were looking all over for a buffet somewhere. The Union Station next door to the Plaza is fucking fantastic buffet there. That's what I would
It's the best. It's my favorite downtown, and it's the most reasonable. And that's where locals will guide people.
I would say the Rio, but again, I'm talking about if you don't
avoiding
if everything's
Rio,
connected.
Yeah.
Rio.
Everybody talks about the Carnival buffet at the
now
Rio.
Let's get to Kenny's hamstring. His Achilles heel is what I was looking for. Gaming. Kenny's a gambling addict.
Well, this is the thing. What is your gambling? I see you play poker here.
You say you play poker, but you don't want to do that in Vegas because now that it's popular, it's huge. If it wasn't poker, what would it be?
No, I hate blackjack. I can't stand it. I lose my money at that every time.
Yeah, you lose your money at everything, Kenny. That's what you do.
That can't be the criteria.
The problem we have with you is you have no money. That's why we don't gamble here.
Yeah, I know.
Because if you had money, we would just always have poker night every night because you lose everything.
It's not true. I don't lose all the time. I win at Alex's
Keno
game
or
for
that
quarters.
weird wheel that you spin.
The Big Six.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Statistically.
No, if I was going to play anything, I'd go to the craps table probably and see how that is.
But now you're in my wheelhouse because I taught all the games. Statistically, if you don't know anything about basic strategy and blackjack, stay the fuck off the table. Just stay off of it. If you're going to play craps, this is what I would suggest as a professional. On the come-out roll on a dice table, you have a 2-to-1 advantage. In other words, on the first roll, before they establish a point, it's the come-out roll, for those that may or may not know. 7 or 11, you win if you're on the pass line. Mm-hmm. There's a don't pass. 2, 3, or 12, you lose. They call that craps. Mm-hmm. 7-11, there's 8 ways to make that combination. 2-3-12, there's 4 ways to make that. 8 over 4, 4 over 2, 2 to 1. It's 2 to 1 in your favor. So if somebody said, Tom, I'm going to give you $1 million, where are you going to put it? It's not fucking roulette. It is not fucking baccarat. It is the pass line on the come out roll, 2 to 1 advantage, and you hope that they roll a 7 or an 11.
Will you sit by Kenny like a nanny?
I'll hold his fucking hand.
Tell him where to put his money.
Yes.
All right.
Unequivocally.
When I went with you guys to the plaza, I'm not a gambler at all, and I think you were just gambling by yourself is why you pulled us over there. But you pulled Jenny and I over and staked us and said, here, do this. And I had no idea what to do. These guys just told me it was roulette a minute ago. I had no idea what it was.
Yes.
It's a ball, spinning ball. I play spinning ball.
Well,
I like spinning ball. It goes around.
It gets even literally more simple than that. I listened to Reverend Derek the entire time. Reverend Derek was right there and told me where to put it. And I kept winning the little fucking discs back to the point where
it's called chips.
Yeah, I told you guys I don't gamble.
No, we got you.
This is where it gets real retarded. Stanhope was fucking like, put the stripy ones in your pocket. And I'm fucking putting the ones with the stripes on them in my pocket.
Well, you get a fucking 20. You get the green. You put it in your pocket, and you forget that you have it.
I kept winning a lot, and that's why, and I don't gamble, but I was listening. So I was saying Reverend Derek might be your source to know where to lay your,
oh my God.
What do they call them?
Reverend
Chips?
Derek should actually go on this trip. And Tom can put his earbuds in. And we just do a 9.5 hour each way podcast of Kenny and Derek yelling at each other.
There it is. I'm the fulcrum in the back seat. Yeah, but you can get lucky. I mean, you can get lucky statistically. And there's a lot of people, when I dealt dice, you'd say, well, statistically, the pass line, but that does not mean that the very next roll that is going to occur. Many times I had some old lady come up, how do you play craps? And she's got a $100 bill, and she doesn't even listen.
That old lady.
Yeah, she doesn't listen for the fucking answer, and she'll bet it on 12. It's a 1-roll bet.
Yeah.
And the fucking thing hits, and then she walks away, and it's easy. And everybody else that thinks they know it, they're pounding on the fucking table. Who's that bitch? But that happens too.
She has an early flight, and she thinks, I'm a genius. Well, if you stayed 3 more days, you'd be fucking broke, you'd lose your house.
Yeah.
You just got lucky because you were leaving.
Yeah, that's often the case. So, I mean, if you want to grind it out, that's one thing. But if you're serious, if you want to take a small chunk of something, but, I mean, you play what you're going to have fun with. That's the idea.
Kenny doesn't have fun. Kenny gets angry at losing or not winning enough.
Wow.
So let's
cut.
Don't worry. The gaming part will be part 2 of this podcast when we find out his failures, which I'm going to stake your failures.
And I hope I come back not failing.
Yeah.
But part 4, what show do you take Kenny to?
Now, that's a tough one because there's endless shows in Vegas. Yes.
What would you take him to, either to bother him or amuse him?
I mean, it's nice to say that. It would be something I know he would enjoy. I would keep him on Fremont Street, and because we're there at the Plaza Hotel, and take him down to one of the bands that I know, one of 2 bands that I know he would fucking love. And that's when I'm going to bump into your friend. What's that?
Emerald City?
Yellow Brick Road. Yellow Brick Road, and maybe the Garage Boys. It's another great band.
Both the hardcore rap groups that we know Kenny enjoys.
Oh, I didn't know that. I was going to go with my friend, I think.
They're there, too.
They're not rap groups. They're cover bands. They're bands that have either gone up to Coops or whatever, but our friend Sal Cincagrani is down there on the...
I can take him to the West Side.
I was going...
Don't you fucking take me to the West Side.
I'll take you to the West Side to a titty bar. A hip-hop bar.
I was going Penn and Teller, just because they're friends.
Well, but I'm saying
and Kenny
that's not what the question is.
Because Penn and Teller, I hate magic so much.
You'd love their show.
Tom Konopka does magic. Matt Becker does magic. Kenny Bang Bang here in town does magic. I fucking hate magic, but Penn and Teller kind of diffuse it and kind of show you most of the trick. And even then, Kenny would be stunned and not get it.
Like the Gods Must Be Crazy movie?
Yeah.
The bottle that falls.
Bottle, yeah.
I don't get how they did it. They just did a whole act about how they did it. I don't get it. I'm so stupefied. All right, let's get back to craps.
Are we back at craps?
Kenny, I'm blown away by magic as well. Don't let these guys make you put your head on the bar like that.
Look at him.
You keep your head up.
That's it, head up. Yeah.
What was the last one?
Oh, the titty bar. A lap dance.
The last thing, titty bar. All right.
Endless possibilities.
The only one I know is the one that we were kids.
Well,
is it still there?
No.
Crazy Horse
You're
2?
talking not Crazy Horse 2. There was one about 1,000
There was
feet
Larry's
from where we were.
Villa was the
They
best.
just closed that. That was the one I was going to suggest. They closed that. That was the ultimate dive.
That was down in. That was out near Fremont, right?
That was
with
North
the columns.
Vegas.
Oh no, that was North Vegas.
No, the one he's talking about. Yeah, it's relatively close. He's thinking about.
I cut that out of the book.
About the Crazy Horse. That's got the columns.
We used to go to that place. I had to cut it out of the beginning of the book because it was going too long. But there was a girl we talked from Larry's Villa, which North Vegas.
Sure.
We were living at Fremont and Decatur.
Oh, so you were
up
close.
by the Butter and Egg Man.
Yeah.
Up
Sure.
that area. It's a long fucking. We got this stripper to come drive all the way from North Vegas to our apartment, shit-faced, and then fell asleep. And we woke up where she had put a knife through the door, a metal apartment door, with a note going, "You guys made me drive all the fucking way over." Yeah, I had to cut that out of the book.
Yeah, I remember. Do you remember her name by any chance?
No, I don't.
I might know.
I remember when I put it in the book.
Funny.
I remembered 2 stripper names that I knew that supported me in my early open mic days. And then I go, and the other girl, I'll never remember your name, but I'll never forget the knife through a metal door with a note telling us to go fuck ourselves from Larry's Villa.
Yeah.
But don't worry, Tom will get you a lap dance against your will.
Can he speak?
And if your wife gets upset, I'll send you pictures of your wife giving me a lap dance.
The funny thing is me and Tom are just going to go to the Casino del Sol in Tucson and spend 3 days there and say we went to fucking Vegas.
Kenny, I told you not to talk.
He kind of needs that shit out of his fucking storage space.
Sounds like I got 7 pairs of stretch pants in those fucking suitcases. We'll just buy them in Tucson. We're fucking great.
Best show you ever saw in Vegas?
Best show I ever saw in Vegas. Christ. All of the Mystere shows are great, but I mean, I got to see all that old shit
all
as
the
well.
old fucking comics.
Yeah, little Buddy Hackett was a great comic.
All right.
Wait, you saw Buddy Hackett in Vegas?
Actually, no, which is not the segue you were expecting. However,
that's all right, as long as we hit it.
Yeah, well, this is, we were talking, I think it was on, here's a callback, podcast 208, Cliff Nesteroff. Caliph, right?
Oh, yeah.
Caliph.
Yeah.
He came up.
From Viceland.
From Viceland. He had
I'm
that
kind of
special.
creeped out that Tom knows the actual numbers.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that was creeped out by that.
Yeah, well, because I knew I was going to tell the story. And I wanted to look
He's
back
a historian
so people can,
of this.
Well, it was called
what number
Funny
podcast
How.
is this?
Again.
What number podcast is the one we're doing?
I have no. I honestly, I don't know.
All right, good.
219.
See, I got you. Anyway,
it'll be 219. But yeah, so when he was here, he had that special. He came, he interviewed you, and everybody, all the Killer Termites, I'm sure, should have seen it. Called Funny How. And what were they asking you? Can comedy be taught? And obviously, your insights were fucking great. But let them look it up on YouTube or whatever the fuck. And so I thought about it. And I've heard people say, well, I'm funny because my father's funny or because my grandfather's funny. And it just brought me back. I was at the Sahara Hotel. It's going to be an old fart reference, but it's It's a good one. Buddy Hackett. The good thing now with Google is that people can actually stop the podcast and find out who the fuck it is. And Buddy Hackett was a comic that was in Vegas. It was before my time, obviously before your time. But he was popular like a
comic of that era that you don't even fucking care about.
Yeah.
I'm saying
exactly.
Comedy doesn't stand the test of time.
No.
You go, hey, Milton Berle. He was hilarious then, but it builds on itself.
But what the guy was, he was in Mad World, the comedy. Yeah. He was very popular. All you have to do is Google it. This was the thing. His son, Sandy Hackett, this was the early 80s. He had a talent showcase. It was called the Sandy Hackett Talent Showcase. Now, I think it would be tough being Rodney Dangerfield's son, to live up to that. And you know Sandy. Okay, but I don't want to
Let's
jump ahead
not mention Pauly Shore, but let's mention Pauly Shore.
His father was fucking... Exactly. Sandy Shore is a funny fucking guy.
Yeah,
but Pauly...
I'm saying, you have to live up to something.
Weeds. It's tough.
If you stink at it, you're Pauly Shore.
So now I take you
I have to
to
play
the
that
fucking...
club.
No. Yeah.
I just lost all my dates at the Comedy Store.
So Sandy it was back in Vegas, and it was a time, early 80s, when they had stopped all of the live music and they were going to all that recorded shit. Track music.
Yeah.
Well, for comics, that wasn't such a big deal, but for singers like Jack Jones or Steve Lawrence, all these guys that were in the wake of Sinatra, it was fucked. So I went to see, because I lived a block from the Sahara Hotel, Sandy Hackett would have this talent showcase.
Naked City?
Yeah, very close. Very close. It's right by the Stratosphere.
I was in Cincinnati.
And I would come into this, his talent showcase was primarily local people, and it was like every Monday night, I'm guessing. And it was at the Casbah room, which was the lounge inside the old Sahara. The Congo room was the big room at the Sahara where Johnny Carson and Red Fox and Jerry Lewis had his telethons and all this shit. Well, Sandy was trying to make something happen. So he would get local comics and whoever was there, ventriloquists, magicians. And I would go there. It's free. And I knew hanging and banging with one of the cocktail waitresses, so I get free drinks. The show was free. And you'd sit and you'd see sometimes celebrities would come in and out. Sandy himself was just a nebbish on stage. He was tall. He might have been in his mid-20s at that point. Big, thick glasses, a lot of flop sweat.
For the record, if you read my first book, Sandy Hackett, Buddy Hackett's son, who's Tom is talking about, booked the room in Flagstaff that was my first paid road gig. Yeah, we played there. We stayed there. We didn't play there, but we stayed there.
We drank.
Yeah. Is Sandy Hackett's Route 66 comedy club.
Yep.
And I was opening for a fucking ventriloquist that was so scared to stay in this old historic hotel that he got his own hotel out of his pocket, which cost as much as he was making, because he was afraid the hotel would burn down and his dummy would burn. Because one time on a cruise ship, someone threw his dummy overboard, and he can't go through that again. And that was my first. The pictures in the fucking
dude. Seeing a doll drown is horrific.
Yeah,
that was Sandy Hackett. I've never met him.
I saw that
face.
episode of Twilight Zone too.
Oh yeah.
So Sandy Hackett, who I've never met, but you saw.
No, well, this was the thing. So he's trying to get this fucking thing off the ground, and it was horrible. It was just bad. The room, the little Casbah room, probably sat about 150, 200. Keely Smith and Louis Prima. They were the big Just a Gigolo.
It is cold outside.
This was one of the lounges where they would slay people in the 60s and whatever. Nice. So it was a popular lounge, but at this point in the 80s, it was just fucking dead. And on the off nights, they tried to do something. So the long story short, Sandy had maybe 20 people in the room that night. And they were all kind of clustered to the right side of the room. And Sandy, it's one of the things, he'd come out and it said Sandy Hackett Talent Showcase, and he'd stand in the wings and say, hey, ladies and gentlemen, Sandy Hackett, he was announcing himself. So, but I mean, that's typical. He's doing and trying to fluff the audience.
But he's introducing himself in the same voice that he's coming out in.
Exactly. The whole incongruity. But we haven't even gotten into this yet. It is, to me, it was a funny memory. So I would sit always in the back of the room. So if the show sucked, I'm fucking out, or if I have to go to the bathroom, I'm closer. So I was in the back of the room by the entrance. And right as cocktails were being served, they had another 5 minutes. Sandy would typically come out and do about 10 minutes up front. Generally, it would be jokes. If those weren't going well, he'd try to riff, and then he'd go deeper into the shit. And the worst, the fucking ultimate worst, is at that time, he did this thing that every fucking entertainer, luckily not you, Doug, would do this fucking Kermit the Frog. What is that song? The Lovers, the Dreamers, and fucking me, or whatever.
Rainbow Connection.
Whatever the fuck
Rainbow
that is.
Connection.
Hang on.
That fucking.
Tracy's got it. Tracy's got it.
I think Chaille already said it, but
Okay.
Rainbow Connection.
No, sing it.
No.
The guys are singing.
Lovers, the dreamers.
Come on, let's all sing it.
Yeah, fuck.
All of us.
Yeah. Miss Tracy.
She's the only one who knew it.
Miss Tracy does it better than Sandy Hackett, that's for sure. So, but Sandy these were the things Sandy would try to pull out if it really was going bad. The long story short is that now I'm sitting in the back and there's nobody near us. In comes walking, in plain clothes, Buddy fucking Hackett, it was a mixed audience. There was some older people. I was probably the youngest guy in the room that probably recognized him, but it was dark. They didn't.
This is 30 years ago?
Yeah,
you would still be the youngest guy in the room.
Yeah, no, exactly. that is true. And he walked in, and it's just strange. He was sitting next to me. I'm filling out a Keno ticket, waiting for Sandy to come out and snooze us. And he walked in with Jack Jones. Now, that's another Stop the Podcast. Google it. He's the one that did the Love Boat. Better than that, obviously, but hang on,
Tracy.
Go ahead, Tracy. Go ahead, Tracy.
Forget
no, she's giving
also,
you the finger.
Google the Love Boat.
Yeah. But so this is it. So now there we are. So now, exactly. So Buddy Hackett and fucking Jack Jones walk in and they sit down, and I could tell they were pissed about something, and I heard their conversation.
I'm gonna back you up. How did you know Jack Jones on site?
This the fucking.
Hey, that's the Love Boat guy. No. Everyone knows the Love Boat guy in our era, but how would you know him? Is that the Love Boat guy?
I would have recognized the midget from Fantasy Island, and that's the only person I would have.
I actually saw him in Vegas too, as a matter of fact.
Killed himself because he was the voice of a generation. Most underrated Hedberg joke ever. By the way.
But he still had a career. This was the point. When he sat down, the guy sold out in Vegas. That's the only reason why. And he was on telethons and all this bullshit. It was before my time, but I saw him. I was living in Vegas. But they were complaining.
That's why I don't have rickets to this day. Exactly. That telethon.
Exactly. So when they sat down, Jack was complaining. I just couldn't hear, they're 5 feet from me. I could hear them. He's going, I can't get a fucking gig in this town. These guys used to sell out Vegas. They were here during the Rat Pack, the Summit, all that Ocean's 11 shit. Buddy says, I'm lucky. And Buddy Hackett, I talk funny out of my mouth, but I don't do an impression. But he talked out of his mouth, and he had kind of one of these voices, And Buddy was, but it's pretty good. And he was saying, he says, if I didn't have, my juice at the DI, Desert Inn and Caesars, I wouldn't be working here. And Jack Jones said, I can't get a gig anymore. He says, fucking now they got that canned fucking music. I can't get a gig. So they're going back and forth for about 5 minutes. Nobody knows they're in the audience except me. And all of a sudden, the lights go down. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the Sandy Hackett Talent Showcase. And now I'm watching them, and now they settle in. And Sandy came out, and he told one joke. Nothing. He told the second joke, the old oil painting. Nothing. And I could see Buddy is fucking fidgeting.
Dad.
Whoa, wait a second. He told another joke, and then when it didn't go well, he started riffing, and it was even worse. He's back to the worst shit, Hey, where are you from? I spent a week there one night. Ha, ha. Nothing. Nobody, and people were literally groaning. And this was one of his first mistakes. He said, by the way, and he pointed to the sign, he said, my name is Sandy Hackett, he said, and my father is Buddy Hackett. And right then, Buddy Hackett, he slapped the table. And he just stopped and he stood up. The house lights were still down. He says, if you're going to call yourself Buddy Hackett's son, he said, you better be funny. And it stopped him right in his tracks. Nobody was laughing.
Well, he can't know that it's his dad saying this.
He did not know it. He did not know it. He wasn't really putting on the heavy. Yeah. And I'm looking at them. Jack Jones there's not a goof. He stood up and Sandy stopped. He said, what is that? He said, look, bring up the house lights. So they came in primed. Bring up the house lights. He said, Dad, is that you? He said, you know who it is? He fucking stopped in the middle of Sandy's fucking bed. He just saw him dying. It was a mission of mercy. He was trying to help him out. He said, son, first of all, he said, the goal is to make people laugh. Again, I'm not going to do the impression. Is to make people laugh. He says, you're not getting laughs, son. Yeah, he said, you're not getting, I thought you were going to say something. He said,
no, I was going to say, no, I wasn't, I'm flabbergasted at how that must have felt.
Because it should have been a green room conversation and not on stage.
Exactly. So, but it was a unique thing. And he said, I'm not saying this to embarrass you. He said, but the material, it's not even not good. It is terrible. It is weak. That's what he said. It's weak. It's weak. He said, I couldn't deliver it. He said, son, let me help you. He said, and now the lights are on. He looked at the audience. Did he go on
stage?
Wait, it's coming.
Sorry.
He said, no, it's all right.
Ahead of you.
He looked and he said, Sandy, first of all, tell everybody that this is not a setup. He said, no, this is definitely not. We didn't rehearse this, did we?
Through his tears, he said, this is not a setup.
Oh, yeah.
Let me back up for a minute. I've had so many times where you have a heckler situation that you handle so perfectly that people think that's part of the act. And nobody sets this up, much less a dad and a son when a son is dying, eating shit. Yeah. So, it doesn't ever happen in comedy. No one sets hecklers up.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Who would have a better insight than you about that? Obvious, that is the point. And so he brought Jack Jones in, like, hey, I'm sure it was, hey, let's go see my son. But he was fucking dying.
Did he actually say, oh, by the way, my friend Jack Jones, who sang the Love Boat song that no one knows him.
You guys remember the Love Boat.
He's looking for a gig. If anyone has some cards, he'll be out at the...
Exactly. So he continued on, and he's explaining to him that the idea, he asked the people, he said, by a show of hands. He said, by a show of hands, how many people here? He said, don't be embarrassed. How many of you here thought that Sandy was funny? Anybody, raise your hand.
Oh my
he said,
God.
look,
holy shit.
Look, trust me, let me flow into this, because this shit actually happened. And nobody raised their hand. He said, see, Sandy, he says, you know I'm not saying this to embarrass you. He said, he said, just listen. He said,
roast.
I know.
I'm letting the
he would
listener
remember.
just
Take
this in.
It is unbelievable. He said, have I ever interrupted any time you've ever been on stage? He said, no, Dad. He said, it's that important. He said, what I want you to do is I want you to call me. Call me tonight, tomorrow at the latest, and I will give you some jokes. Let me help you. Let me give you advice on how to do this. He said, I've seen you be funny. He said, you're just not funny. And he went on for about almost 10 minutes. And then Sandy made the ultimate natural mistake. He looked down at his fucking watch and he said, okay, Dad. He said, I think the audience, we get what you're saying. I'm not that funny. And he said, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you suck. And when he said that, the fucking audience went ballistic. It was the first laugh of the whole thing. It was the loudest fucking laugh, the biggest laugh I've heard from the smallest fucking audience. It was 20 people. And Jack Jones, I looked, he wasn't laughing. He was embarrassed by this whole thing. The house lights are still up. And right then,
I'll get it back. I'll get it.
Yeah. So he was irrelevant, but he happened to be there. So now he's completely dumbfounded. He said, Dad, would you do me a favor? Would you come up? Would you do a little bit? He says, I'm not going to do you a favor. I'm going to do them a favor. I will come up. And he's saying, would you like to hear my father come up? Yeah. And he came up, they're applauding, and he came up, and this is no bullshit. He was known for telling stories. And he came up and he did maybe 1, 2, 3 fucking killer stories. The first one was funny. The third, by the time he was done with the third, the people were standing up. unsolicited. They gave him a standing ovation, and then he's looked with the mic. He goes, well, I got to get out of here. He's got to get on with the show. He hands the mic back to Sandy, and Sandy says, Dad, thank you. He said, now remember, make sure you call me. And so now he goes, okay. And as they go, he goes to sit down. He said, Dad, are you staying for the rest of the show? And he said, yeah, unfortunately. And again, people started laughing. So now Sandy was, scrambling through his pocket, for his notes. It's like, okay, this is interesting. Thanks, Dad. And let's see, our first act is going to be a singer, Angelo Tolentino, and he's reading this. But he's on his way back to the thing. The next is going to be a magician, Walter Whizbang, and Wanda and her birds.
Wanda and her birds.
Back by popular demand. The old bit.
It's a Lenny Bruce callback that I didn't even know Lenny Bruce, that Tom Konopka clued me in on
30
back
years
in
ago.
our telemarketing
So that was
days.
for you. So
Yes.
so now he's beginning this. The lights are
Explained
down.
it for the listener.
Yes. Now, as he goes back to his fucking seat, Jack Jones is looking at him, and he fucking stares at Jack for about 5 seconds, and he's just like rubbing his eyebrows and his fat. He said, gee, Jack, I'm sorry you had to see that. And I swear to God, Jack Jones said, no, that's the first time I heard him talk. He said, no, buddy. He says, I agree with what you said. He said, your son is just not that funny. He said, that is not what I said. I said he sucks. And he said it louder. I swear to God. And right
In
then,
the show?
Right as he's introducing the acts. And right then, Sandy, when he heard it, it was so loud, he's like, okay, Dad, I get it. I fucking suck. I suck. And he's saying, I suck. And he's walking around the stage saying, I fucking suck. And everybody started laughing again. And that's when Buddy Hackett stood up and pointed. He said, see, now that's what you're looking for. Laughter. He said, right now you don't suck, but the goal is not to have them laughing at you. Call me. Please give me a call and let me help you. And he said, okay, Dad, I will. Now sit down. And then he did stay through the whole fucking thing. So there was more shit, but to make the longer story shorter, I knew that he fucking definitely did give him some material. And it's back to King Comedy Be Taught. It's the circle.
First, he gave him his phone number.
Yeah, exactly.
Sandy Hackett probably didn't get the fucking phone number.
Well, no.
You say to make a long story short.
Well, I'm trying to short.
But the long story will be you telling the long story to Kenny on your way to Vegas and back 18 2/2 of an hour.
He will get the unabridged version. So what I did, I knew that he probably did, in fact, give his son some jokes. So I didn't go back to the following Monday night's Sandy Hackett. I waited 2 weeks, purposely, because I was curious. And I swear to you, and of course he wasn't, and Buddy Hackett wasn't in the audience, and I'm sorry for you guys, Jack Jones wasn't there either.
God bless
and
his
I know.
soul.
And so I went in, and I swear to you.
Put him in your celebrity death pool, Doug Stanhope's celebrity death pool at Stanhope's DSP.
Yeah, so I went 2 weeks
that.
later.
Yeah.
CDP.
CDP.
Like that.
Sorry, I'm trying
You
to
have it?
fucking plug Joby.
Yeah. Though the bottom line is that I did go back 2 weeks later, and I am not bullshitting. He came out with about 10 minutes of all new fucking material, and I will tell you what, he still sucked. It was fucking horrible. No, really, it was worse than that night, because now he was fucking nervous. And can it be
Tom Konopka's in the back of the room going, I'm your dad.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to help.
You should have called me. You suck.
Yeah, you suck. But yeah, it's hard to tell that type of a story because of the dynamics of it. But I don't know. Can you teach it? Nah.
The cliche is you had to be there, but you made us there by telling that story.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
I hope you enjoyed that.
Great.
It's a little tidbit of old Vegas. The one quick thing is that because you do know
There's
his
no
Sandy
quick
Hackett
thing
is-
with you.
Well, what it is that throughout the years, that was in the early 80s, is that Sandy did ultimately go on to produce like a lot of shows very successfully in Laughlin. And I don't know him, but he would remember that fucking night. There's no fucking question. And he did some Rat Pack tribute at the Rio.
I have actually found him, I don't know if it's Twitter, social media somewhere, and I reached out saying, hey, you, I sent a picture. I think the picture's in the book, yeah. Hey, you, and he never got back to me.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't do social media. He probably has some lady at the bronze nugget.
Yeah.
That does the thing
probably
four
closer
times a year.
Probably closer with the death pool recommendation.
Yeah, but he does it. So he's producing like all those Rat Pack shows, and I think he has one. It might still be at the Rio. And he put himself into it as fucking Joey Bishop. Google that. Well, you can't see the ESP because he's already fucking dead. But he actually was
That's
relatively
going to take
funny.
us down a different road
Yeah.
because I know a guy that was in that fucking thing.
There's about 10 of them.
Well,
actively.
This
That's
is
specific
too
one.
long a story.
Yeah.
I'm cutting this fucking podcast short, but I'll
Thank
tell
you, buddy.
off the air.
Sandy Hackett's Rat Pack show, and also another show
can't
coming
believe it's
soon
still
called My Buddy.
Jesus Christ, it's still fucking there. Unbelievable.
Hey, this is a podcast. If you're in Vegas, look for Kenny and Tom Konopka
on Fremont Street
on a buddy film. Chad Shank, thank you for hosting this for me.
It's my pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
Ggreg Chaille. Tracy has been fingering me. And then there's, those other two. We don't talk about them.
Are we not doing the other segment?
What?
Thank yous.
Thank yous.
And
Oh,
dates.
fuck. Thank yous. All right.
You want to go
We're
into
going
it?
to do thank yous. Yeah, we're going to do thank yous. All right. We missed this thank you. This guy, Brett Morris, sent us a Papa vodka. It's down underneath, right underneath your cunt, Clarice.
Next to the
A Papa vodka lamp. He made a lamp inside of a plastic Papa vodka
It's glass.
jug.
That's glass.
It is glass.
Yeah.
All right. Either way.
Even harder.
It's cool as shit. Dan Steinman. He sent me some dumb shit. It's some awful book about how it's called The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life. And how it's just some new agey bullshitty fucking thing.
Thought about joining that cult for a while.
If you've ever done mushrooms, you go, oh my God, I can't believe people believe in that shit. So it's that bad. Like hallucinogens make it worse. Thank you, Dan. I miss drugs. Where's Kenny? Kenny
He just left.
with the shirt.
Kenny was wearing a shirt that said, just add vodka, and then picked up, I don't have the name, Lina Galliara. Yeah, she sent a mug, a coffee mug. It says, I miss drugs, and Kenny's drinking coffee out of it, wearing a T-shirt with the same font that says, just add vodka, I miss drugs, and he's an ex-tweaker. It's almost like I read The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life, and I realized how everything comes together.
It's all connected.
John Clavis from Astoria sent the Holy Grail book. Anyway.
I forgot the letter at home, but Christopher, he doesn't have like a social media presence or anything. But his name's Christopher. He sent me those mugs that say Shank Audio.
It's right there.
With the fucking
Behind
it
you.
is. Look right there.
Yeah.
Oh, the Shank Audio, and you had the Shank Audio
Yeah,
T-shirt.
you gave me a T-shirt with the same design on it, and
Cool
it
as
says,
shit.
yeah, thanks a
And-
lot for that.
oh,
That's
I
badass.
just remembered-
one of them broke in transit, but I glued it together and put markers in it inside my
There you go.
studio. So
No one's
I don't
better
drink
than
coffee.
Chad Shank when it comes to glue. I went to a museum. I visited a museum with Brian Hennigan against his will. The Pima Aerospace Museum.
Oh,
Remember
yeah?
the one?
That one's awesome.
We went and I made Hennigan go because we were up in Tucson anyway. And we went through it really fast.
Did you get on the bus that drove you around?
No,
we
were. We got there at 3:15. They say
Yeah.
we stopped selling tickets at 3, but
you look like suckers.
Yeah, $31
Yeah.
for two of us, and they said so you won't see the whole thing, so you know. And I turned to Hennigan. I go, they don't know how fast we walk or how little we care. So we just sped around that fucking dumb place.
It's an outdoor museum with some indoor exhibits.
Yeah, you can't even get inside a plane. I wanted to see the inside of a fucking madman, like first class. What's first class look like in 1950? No, it's all fucking military killed. They did have old Air Force One. Hey, John F. Kennedy was on this. Yeah, well, what was it like? I want to go inside. I don't care. John F. Kennedy and LBJ were on this plane. Well, I can't get on it. So yeah, it's like I fight for Diamond Medallion. I fly to Singapore. You know why? To see the inside, you motherfuckers. Fuck you, Pima.
It's actually a really good museum, and we invite you to go check it out.
Wow. Thanks.
Yeah. Hey, Bill Nash from Nash Guitars is a friend on online. I haven't met him yet.
Wow.
They are out of Olympia, Washington, and you can go to nashguitars.com. He just sent 3 more Bibles. He sends a lot of Bibles because he travels around a lot, and he sent $100 for Chad. $100 bill.
Thank you very much, sir. I have been to nashguitars.com, not because I care about guitars, but because this guy sent me money before, and that is incredibly nice. Yeah. And he's got really fucking nice guitars.
They're high-end, and they're really fucking, I mean, they're high-end, meaning they're they're crafted.
Yeah. Hey, P.I. Lee sent a fucking Bible, too.
Who?
But P.I. Lee.
Was there $100 in it?
Singapore friend?
He sent the other things that would have kept us awake.
Nash Guitars, they do really good old-looking Strats and Tellys that look phenomenal. So anyway, thank you, Bill Nash.
Thank you, sir.
Tom has something to add.
Just a quick thank you out in Lawrence, Kansas. Joanna Cantor at Sweet Velvet Soap, my soap lady from 6 months ago.
She sent me more pussy shots?
Yeah, more soap.
soap
She
in
knows
there?
I'm training now, so she wanted to make sure I smelled good.
No pussy shots?
Yeah, well, that's Mom.
Hey, I'm not.
Yeah.
You got to wrap the soap in something.
Mom's the word. No, and I wanted to thank Doug because I know the neighbors will be thanking you for a nice little gift that you walked over earlier.
That's our business.
We won't tell them. Yeah, keep it, Mom.
Mark, delete.
Yeah, delete it.
All right, thank you.
Tell them off.
That's
the
a podcast.
One more thing.
Hey.
We're going on tour, Champaign, Illinois. Your fucking venue has been changed.
Oh,
Champaign, we're moving up to all seats, which is the way to go.
All right.
So check the website, and if you bought tickets online at DougStanhope.com through
Listen,
Brown Paper Tickets,
Hennigan
you got an email that tells you the new venue. Thanks for coming on.
No, I'm not done. As I told you, we're doing this. Hey, buy merchandise, blah, blah, blah. Go sign up on the mailing list, blah, blah, blah. We should always, like the fucking end of the Stern show when they do the wrap up.
We can't do it now because you're drunk.
Here's the plugs. Yeah, go sign up on the mailing list. Go to the fucking dates. Buy merchandise. Go fuck yourself. What if we steal that back from Bill Burr? I hate the fact that if you say go fuck yourself, you can't steal go fuck yourself.
No, in
That's
Worcester, I heard it
you.
like at the end of every sentence. It was like the punctuation on everything they said.
Yeah.
It's like saying, oh, eat shit. That's my catchphrase. No, everyone says eat shit. Yeah. Go fuck yourself, Bill Burr. Just because you're funnier than me, you think you're something. Play us out with Ween.
Ween.